We are rolling. Everybody, welcome to today's podcast. This is Timewaver and Healy Part 2 with DJ from the Netherlands. He's #1 European Timewaver practitioner, a massive background in health and nutrition, Chinese medicine, working with retreats and clinics, and a fanatic biohacker, as well as studying osteopathy. And so in January, we had a talking about Timewaver. We did a walkthrough with the technology as well as how Healy works and whatnot. But in the last 2 months, you've been so busy. The team is growing so fast that there's been a lot of questions that we haven't answered about Healy. So we're going to go through the history of frequency therapy, history of Timewaver, history and why Healy really stands out from everything else, as well as some other really key nuggets here. So if you are new to Healy, this is perfect. Or if you do want to share this around, this is going to be a fantastic video for anyone coming into Healy in their first week, or if you've been a part of Healy for a year or two. So I'm really, really excited for this. Thanks for your time, DJ.
Yeah, very exciting to be here. Yeah, and let's dive into some basic things, because we're in technology. We have to discuss some techniques. And another practical thing, I'm the leading Healy programmer in Europe, you could say. That's a good thing. Like, normally a Timewaver practitioner is someone who sees people face to face, right? Like, he delivers the microcurrent therapy most of the time face to face. But now with Healy, Timewaver can have a different function. You can become a librarian, a programmer, and writing programs. So that's what I do. So let me cover some basics here, because so many people, of course, are new to this and they want to know what it's all about. But let's keep it simple, because it's very simple, ladies and gentlemen. What are therapist programs? Because I make therapist programs for people with a Healy. You already have your Healy programs, but therapist programs are something different. Okay, so I'm a Timewaver practitioner. I have the Timewaver frequency device, and on a request, I can give people a pre-selected program, which I wrote and designed beforehand, or you could have one made for you based on analysis or on a request, like if you have a specific issue you want to target. But then again, this program I make is really different than Healy, because first of all, any Healy program, no one knows what's in it. It's secret. It's a secret recipe. We do not know how they program it. Also, I can only guess. But therapist programs are meant to be more therapeutic, to be able to give you also an access to more different frequencies that is not in Healy. Also, the duration of a program could be much longer. And they can be more personalized based on your request. If I, for instance, program the program according to your bioenergetic field. So Healy is designed, keep this in mind, is for consumers. It's for the end consumer that needs safe use. Therapist programs are just a little bit more therapeutic. And in that sense, I will come back to it. You also put the percentage lower. Many people give me also the feedback here, already on percentage of 35, the voltage, they feel like, they feel already tingling a lot. So it's okay. It's really better to put it low. So how do you get a therapist program? Of course, feel free to go to my website. You can have a look on what is possible, and more is coming, because last interview we just covered a few bits actually, but there's more coming. But keep it simple. If you contact me, just give me 3 things: what you would like, what you would need, and be as clear as possible on that. And send me your therapist TAN number. You can find your pink app with it. And then, of course, the final thing is the payment. Now, I'm going to share with you guys, before we dive into everything, if you watch this webinar, you just let me know when you want to have a program. You will have a 20% off on your total purchase, whatever you want to have, because of course I like to help people as much as possible. So if I send you a program, I send you with it instructions for use and what other Healy programs you can use with it to better its effect, to amplify its effect, especially when you have an issue, right? I preferably give you one program of me and give and advise the rest of Healy programs instead of that I give you as many programs of mine, because Healy already has a lot in it. So what kind of programs are possible to make? As I said, specific issues, ailments, or if you want to improve functions, if you want to get healthier, right? Think about nutritional supplements, but then in microcurrent information. And of course, your spiritual development. And that is where I'm actually really excited to talk about, because it has blown my world of what's possible. And I've seen it, programs I made for people using it, it is undescribable what the effects can be. And it gives me goosebumps every time I talk about it. So yeah, before we move on, a couple of important things. I speak to a lot of you people, and I love all of you people. Please keep drinking your water, 2 liters a day, preferably clean as possible. Microcurrent is still electricity stimulation. That means if you use a lot of it, it is dryness over time. So if you are dehydrated, I would put extra caution there, just more extra caution. Seriously, folks, it is something we shouldn't underestimate. Healy is maybe the biggest experiment, maybe I think the greatest experiment we're now in as people, but it's an experiment. We don't know what effect it will have on the long term with so many people at the same time. So I think we should keep that in mind. So rather put the percentage of the voltage lower than higher. I talk to too many people who put it like at least 80, or I can do 100. No, take it easy. The body really responds to subtle things, right? If I move my hand, electricity moves through it right now, and I don't feel it because it's so subtle. Believing in the power of Healy is believing in the database of Nuno Nina, right? If people thank me for the program I made for them because it helped them in a way, it's also big thanks to that library of frequencies, right? You also have the library of Rife, of Hulda Clark. All these different people had different lists. And Timewaver has many of them too. So Nuno Nina has the most of it. I think that's the biggest database in the world. So very nice that we are in that on that boat with Healy. This is about information field science, right? Don't forget it. That's magic for the commoner. So it's okay if you are not always understood. Quantum sensor, again, ladies and gentlemen, is the most holistic information field generator and receiver. Sorry, mostly receiver, reader. I will come back to it later. Yeah, any pink app program can be used wireless. Okay, also the programs I make for you, you can use them wireless. Just keep the Healy close to you, and it works much more on your intention, right, than wires all the time. So also for children and animals, please use that. And Healy or that I make for you is individualized. It is not possible within Healy actually that there's a program that is it is IMF, individualized microcurrent frequency, and FSM, for instance, is something completely different, right? It's a big field of frequency out there, but we are in the IMF zone, which gives us the benefit to only receive frequencies that are really healthy for us. So you cannot really go wrong.
So just to clarify on that, DJ, so the IMF is an individual modulated frequency. Is that right?
Individual microcurrent.
Microcurrent.
It's all microcurrent, right? We're working with the microamperes. It is, as I said, electricity, but it's microwaves. And yeah, there are different techniques and devices on the planet that work with microcurrent, but in different ways and different applications, different ways how they measure it, analyze it, read it. Yeah.
Awesome.
So final thing, my dear Zach, because I've been getting really busy and I'm getting really exposed here. And there's one thing I want to tell people. If you Google my name, Jai Hein, full name, it's there's something funny you might find about me, and I'd like to elaborate on it. So I've lived and worked on Bali for 3 years. I had my own retreat center there. I was working in health clinics also. And I was also a stand-up comedian, by the way. Apparently the most successful on the island because no one else was there to do it. That's my best joke of the evening, by the way.
I had no idea. Here we go. This is
yeah.
Let's bring out the comedian. Sounds good.
Yeah, we gotta have some fun, right, on the path of healing. So yeah, but anyway, part of the story is the last year I had to spend a year in jail on Bali Island. So what happened is that maybe you know Discovery Channel with Locked Up Abroad series, horrible stories of people how they got in jail. I got in a similar situation where I was just unlucky to receive a package on my birthday, which I didn't know the contents of, and it was apparently full with cannabis, and sent to me as a surprise, as a gift by someone. And I had to fight for my life for a year there. And you can only imagine that that has been very impactful for me and for my family, but also, of course, for the media that started to generate around that, because I come from Holland and it became a big story here. And it got a lot of hits on Google, so you know that. It's good to share that, of course. So you know a little bit of the background and you're not scared when you read that. Also, it is relevant because, you know, when I came out of that place, I brought a lot of disease and trauma with me because of the physical violence and isolation. It was eventually only that Healy could solve all of it for me. I had to first go to a chiropractor every month, right? I had to take supplements to get my health checked up. But I could discard all of that after I discovered Healy. Now, of course, I'm a guy that know what he's doing. So when I saw what Healy could do, I knew what to use. So that was the benefit for me. But that's also why I'm sitting here, and I love to share this. Also with a little bit of the background.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that.
Sure.
I had no idea, and these are things that unfortunately happen, and we've all had our own, I guess, experience with weathers of life. Whenever the cards of life are given to us, it's up to us how we play them, and you're playing the cards to move through and then help other people. So a lot of respect to you, man.
Yeah.
So thank you for everything you do. Yeah.
It's good to share. Okay, so what up next, Zach?
Where do we start? All right. That's really good. So I'd love to start off with, I think there's a lot of people, a lot of new people joining the team, or even some people who have been in for a little while, and they're still questioning, like, where did this frequency therapy concept start? You know, apparently it was suppressed in history. There's different machines out there, but could you give us the history on frequency therapy and, how it's come to be where it is today?
Beautiful. Yeah, of course, it started with Tesla. That's our closest history where there's tangible proof that he just had those devices. And where eventually his knowledge and his devices went is also there's somewhere in the middle, but eventually he didn't become the only one. The most research that is done on the work of frequency is done by Russians. Absolutely. And they're very serious about it. That's why it's not really exposed to us. But there are a few important years in the history, in the 1900s. Think about 1910 and 1934. In 1910, the AMA and the pharmaceutical industry and Rockefeller Institute, of course, or Rothschild, they set up something that they were checking things more thoroughly when it came down to health practitioners, doctors, and osteopaths. And everything became more under a lens, like you have to be able to be like this, and the evidence-based medicine, etc. So that's where everything already tends. But there were a few producers of microcurrent therapy devices, and one person got really big. I'm really bad at names, but it's Richard Abrams, I think. He became a millionaire with selling those devices. Seriously, you can find old newspaper articles on people being able to buy these devices and working them at home, like a big Healy, a big one in your living room. Yeah, eventually, of course, those devices got taken off the market, because that's where 1934 came in, where Dr. Royal Rife, started to claim and shout it out on the streets and the newspapers that he could cure cancer successfully. It's true. 20 cases he treated with terminal cancer, treated them successfully. Also other cases, of course. But saying that, yeah, and with such a tension field of what was created since 1910, they took down everything. Now, what is interesting, if you also look at osteopathy is something opposite of the pharmaceutical industry. Microcurrent is actually, you could almost say the same, but osteopathy and microcurrent therapy was there was a battle for them both going on, but osteopathy won it, microcurrent lost it, because the thing is, and it's almost as simple like this, you cannot cut off the hands of people, and osteopaths heal with their hands. That's all they do. What you can do, if you have a device, you can just steal it, take it away from you, make it illegal, throw you in jail if you have it. And that's what they did with microcurrent devices. So from that fear and from losing your license, of going to jail, so many practices closed down, so many devices were stored away, thrown away, burned. And yeah, and so since then it was all over the place. And in Europe, I'm not really familiar where they've been big on this, but I think for now, the most important research and results are being made in FSM by Carolyn McMakin. I think she will make big run for the stage with their effects.
It's so interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I found a website online at the moment. I'll put it in around this video somewhere, talking about the history of frequency-specific microcurrent. And then obviously, yeah, it's an incredible history. So I'm excited to learn more about it, because it's giving me more confidence when I go out there to share, what Healy is, why it's here, why it's important. This isn't something that's just been invented in the last couple of years. This is something that's been around for, nearly 100 years or maybe more. So,
probably more. Electricity.
I'd love to know, in terms of just really basic, like, what is frequency? Well, we're talking about frequency therapy. Like, what is it? What is frequency?
Okay, good. Very simple. So if everything is frequencies, if everything is vibration, right? If Nikola Tesla said it, you have to think in vibration, energy, and frequency. There are many different, the particles in it. What should we focus on? Because of course there's so much to tell with wavelengths and amperes and hertz, but okay, hertz. If you look at the body's frequencies are mostly within 1 hertz and 1 kilohertz, which is 1000 hertz. So within that range of 1000 hertz, your body basically functions, or it finds its homeostasis also. So when we work with frequency, we work with these little waves, these hertz, and with the Healy, it finds resonance with different frequencies in your body. Every different specialized cell has definitely a different frequency, and different parts of the cell even have different charges. Everything is charged in the body. So when Healy sends frequency, it is just information. And how can you bring information into the cells? Through the ether and through microcurrent. So that's where you use your wires, right? Healy uses wires because of microcurrent, but does it need the wires to get the information there? No. Does that make sense?
So you don't need the wires?
Basically don't need the wires, because why are they coming up with the Healy coil?
Yes. Oh, bit of a mic drop moment. For those who don't know, there is an additional add-on to the back of the Healy that slides in, that actually allows, well, we don't know yet, but we're thinking it emanates the frequencies without actually having.
We're gonna let it be magic for now, but it is the wireless use.
wireless use.
And it's already doing it. Like, ask yourself, there's a protection program list in your Healy, right? And you have to run it wirelessly, as if it's a completely different technology that you're using. It's not. It's the same technology. It's just wireless.
Wow.
And you could also use it microcurrent if you would like. It doesn't.
Of course. So I'm curious to know then, Healy is one of many frequency machines out there, but what are the other frequency machines out there? And then what is it that makes Healy so special?
Yeah, beautiful question. Okay, I'm trying to be as thorough as possible on this because it's a beautiful difference. Imagine that, okay, other frequency devices that work with microcurrent, they have a different way of analyzing and measuring the bioenergetic field. You could measure it in many different ways. You can measure it through the meridians and here through the fingers. If you use certain electrodes to find a resonance, you can find it that in naturopathy and mythology. You have a photospectrum, right? You can shine a certain light on a tissue and it will reflect back the frequential light spectrum. And so you can analyze, for instance, the mineral resources of the body. And you have sound, which you can use through a headphone, and it will use sound waves through your ear and it will resonate through your body and will pick it up again. But it's not a quantum sensor. With the quantum sensor, yeah, you are straight in line with the quantum field, and it's like talking to the wave. And that's why the quantum sensor should not be used as progress analysis, which I mean, like you have the Blue app, you analyze your meridians 1, for instance, and you see lungs or intestine, large intestine comes up 60%. 5 minutes later, you do it again, meridian 1, and then the intestine come up 75%. And you're like, huh? But I just ran the program and now it's higher? Or hey, it's just 5 minutes and now it's different? What the thing is, and I hope one day we get to understand this really, but if the quantum field works like a wave, and this is also how we humans work through cycles in our day, it's like a wave. And this is where our health sometimes gets out of balance when we spike or we dip too deep. This is where, in this subtle wave, we find our health. And that's where Healy is trying to get you. But when you're dancing the way through the day, even in 5 minutes, when you analyze yourself here or here, that's a difference. But you're reading the wave. So don't use it as if the percentages should really mean a lot. The percentages are overrated, I think, within the Healy community most of the time, because you should look at it in terms of weeks and months. If you first analyze a lot of lungs, then you.
So people can get caught in the detail, and it can get a little bit overwhelming. So that's really interesting. So so it's tapping into the frequency. And so there's other machines out there that do so there's nothing out there that does what the Healy and Timewaver do?
No, because of the quantum sensor.
Got it.
It's a quantum sensor, how they analyze the field. That's from my understanding. That's also the most magical thing about it. How does the Healy know the things you can read about yourself? And that's where magic comes in, and that's where intuition counts 100. Intuition amplifies this technology, and that's what I think it should be used for also. Yeah.
And then, so how did actually Timewaver, looking at Marcus Schmieke, the inventor, how did he come about to invent the Timewaver? Like, it doesn't just pop out of thin air like that. I'm so curious to know the story there.
I'm curious too. We'll never know. We'll just keep hearing the same thing. It started with a dream.
And so with that kind of history of Timewaver, can you kind of share how Timewaver has evolved over the years? Because the Healy is now 15 years into their journey. So it must have started somewhere else.
Healy, now Timewaver is 15, 16 years into the journey.
Sorry, 15, yeah. But that's what they've come out with, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the Timewaver has the experience, and it's the mother company, and they have the databases there, and they have different modules. They have different different versions of Timewaver devices. So I have the Timewaver frequency. This is the only device you can make Healy programs with. And so also for results, if you're curious for more results on how do these therapist programs actually work, or Healy programs, yeah, the clinics of Nuno Nina must have a lot of results. That's where we find the juice.
Yeah, yeah. And so I'd love to know, on as soon as you hook the Healy up, what is it actually doing to the body, and what are the benefits?
Yeah, so I think you're all aware of the three benefits when it comes down to mitochondria, right? And this cellular respiration, the mitochondria, the cell, the power units, the energy units of the cell. It amplifies their energy. It increases their charge. So they start to produce more ATP, right? That's the sign for cellular respiration, and it's 5 times more. So that's really astonishing. Then it increases your protein synthesis. This is proven. These are all three things that are proven. So better digestion, better also being able to recognize information in your body, because that's what your digestive system does, right? And and it's good against pain and inflammation, proven. So these things we can really say, and on the other things, if you want to elaborate on that, it can become philosophical because you talk about quantum. But another really beautiful physiological thing I like is it's just the tissue improvement, right? If you imagine that any disease, it comes with the degeneration of a certain tissue, and that affects the rest of the tissue. And where everything is actually a tissue in your body, frequency shows that you can speed up the break of a bone, a broken bone, the recovery. You can speed up everything. If you have a nervous breakdown, it repairs the nerves so nicely, so quickly. And that's
I'm seeing a beautiful visual there where the microcurrent is going through. It's kind of like connecting, relighting up all the electrical systems within the body, kind of like the root system of a tree, going down into the ground. The Healy is then recharging, strengthening. You're saying like the veins and the neurons of the brain and the tissue and the cartilage and things like this. It's actually strengthening that. Wow.
Yeah, and I can explain it because if you look at embryology, where we started as an embryo, there's something really interesting that happens, how these cells start to grow and start to specialize. Because first you're just one cell, and then it starts to multiply. But it all started with one cell. And then you have different cells. How did it become different? Well, probably because somewhere in the biology, there's this potentials fired, different charges, different plus minus frequencies, and they are basically causing the cells to grow. So that's why every cell has their own unique frequency, and that's why frequencies work. Makes sense.
That is so interesting. Yeah, the sciencey stuff, how it actually impacts. I always say that the Healy is like the phone charger or the battery charger or laptop charger
Yes.
to our cells, and so it's
Yeah.
charging us up, regenerating. And let's talk about the science here, the background. Like some of the people that support Healy and Timewaver, I was seeing Dr. Robert Becker and Bjorn Nordenstrom. Can you explain some of the people behind, even before Timewaver, that were integrating frequency therapy, and then who is on the scientific board within Timewaver and supporting Healy?
Whoa, those are few completely different questions. I cannot really elaborate on all too much of that because it's also a business side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm more like really into the science.
Mm-hmm.
But Maybe phrase it in a different way, or let's go to another one. I'll come back to it later.
Yeah, like we got Nuno Nina,
Oh,
Portuguese
yeah.
scientist. He's been using it for 15 years in his clinics. We've got Caroline McMacken. There's who are
Oh,
some of the other people on the scientific advisory board that are, supporting Healy and what it's all about.
oh, I definitely don't know all the members, but the advisory board is big, and that's why Timewaver is so exciting. How big their team of clinicians also is, and the knowledge that they have, and also the display of products, the possibilities. Um, but yeah, as I said, for instance, like Nuno Nina, it's clear that he's been working since the last 50 years, gathering all the results, working with people. He is really the healer type. Marcus is, I think, the visionary, because it started with the vision to get Healy simple and easy for anyone who has a smartphone, basically. And Caroline McMaken, to talk about her, is this is really for practitioners, seeing people face to face. That is my next phase of training. I'm really excited about it. Keep in mind also that Healy is for long-term use. Healy is designed to, if you have something and you want to work on it, you work on it daily, or it's a rhythm where you get into. FSM, Carolyn McMaken, is where you can get results in like 1 hour session, because it's meant for that. It's frequency specific. Healy can give you in 20 minutes 120 different frequencies. With frequency specific, you only use 2 frequencies in 20 minutes. Different.
Interesting. So with Healy, you have the variety of the different frequencies. Like each program's about 400 frequencies, I've heard. And so you're saying then within FSM is only 2 frequencies, but maybe a higher voltage or something for a shorter period of time.
No, it's same. It's just, for instance, if you come in with inflammation in the body, there's one frequency for inflammation. But where is the inflammation? Maybe it is somewhere in your throat, right? You have a frequency for the throat. So we have 40 hertz, and here we have 56 hertz throat, and we put these on the pads, on the bands, or either the graphite gloves, and then the frequency goes straight to that place where it's meant to be. And for 20 minutes is work, so eventually you can only walk out of that door relieved of the worst symptoms.
Wow. So Healy's more of like a platter. I think, you got like a fruit or food platter with all these different frequencies. So the body goes, okay, here's all these amazing frequencies here, and the body would take what it needs and doesn't take on what it doesn't need. And then the more practitioner model machines are more focused on just a couple of frequencies at a really targeted area.
Yeah.
Got it. So I'm actually curious, like, what does it actually take to be a Timewaver practitioner? I know that these machines are very expensive. There's probably a lot of training that goes in. How does one become a Timewaver practitioner?
What type of Timewaver practitioner do you want to become? Of course, this is a journey you make with yourself, and it will take you as deep as you want and can handle. I wanted to go really deep and really dive into the database, and I spent the most time on that and writing and creating programs. I can totally imagine that there's hardly any other, or not many, Timewaver practitioners that decide to do that, because if you want to do it good, it's really, you have to dive in. Basically learn how to use the device, preferably have a pre-med diploma, like you're good in the basics, you understand pathologies. A holistic practitioner, of course, have some background, because otherwise you will see a lot of things you don't understand. Yeah.
Got it. And then, so some of the Timewaver machines are, I've heard 12,000 euros or 20,000 euros or something.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And it's
incredible.
Is it? How big is this unit?
Okay,
You've got it there
for you. This unit is really heavy. It feels like a tank compared to, but it's like a sort of 2 laptops on top of each other, and
Wow.
And it's definitely a tank. If I compare to other devices I've seen on the market, this is like a solid.
It's a
German
solid unit. Interesting. And then, last time you gave us a rundown of some of the software and the programs and things
Yeah.
like this. So can you actually create personalized programs for people? So say someone wanted something specific, you can group together a bunch of frequencies to help specific people, and you can rename that, or are they all pre-locked? Yeah.
No, I can basically customize everything. And I can customize everything. But eventually you also have to I have to allow the quantum sensor to do its work. For instance, I can make a Healy program where specific frequencies I selected are run down for a specific amount of time. But when it comes down some magic, you let the quantum sensor decide what you need and just run that. So there are different options I have. I can talk really technical about it, but can I share my screen with you? So
yeah,
I can
let's
just,
do it. Maybe for some of the new people, they'd love to see a bit of a walkthrough of the Timewaver, and it's very thorough what is behind the scenes here.
you have to
I'm going to give you a host. Over to you. Here we go, make host.
Right. Okay, so short rundown. What is the difference between Timewaver and Healy? So it's basically the same technology, but it's the Timewaver is just everything more for therapeutic purposes. You have a client database in your Healy Blue app. I also have it here. I can also record the vibration, of course, and I can work with people on distance. And for instance, if I would go to my Blue app here on the Timewaver, I can select all the things I want to analyze, just like you guys also have the amino acids and you have the Bach flowers. But as you can see, I have a lot more.
Yeah,
And
minerals, right.
Yeah, you're looking
vitamins. Wow.
You could say a couple of thousand frequencies are in here. Like literally 18,000. Yeah. So I can run an analysis here just on myself now. And now it analyzes on all these selected databases. 18,000 frequencies are being run through, and then it's going to give me a top whatever. Because with Healy, you can only have a top 5. It will give you 5 frequencies, and it can give you 5 frequencies. But this can show you 100 or 1,000, and you can send 100 or 1,000.
Wow, got it.
So this is where people make appointments with me to have I call it field enhancing, because that's just what it does. It shows what is analyzed in this moment, what you need most. And as you can see, just my top 7 is interesting for me. Wow, I had an intestinal issue today, so that absolutely sense. Dryness, it says. Wow, I'm gonna vibrate these. But as you can see, I go all the way to 52 frequencies here, and I can take it all the way down to even more,
specific.
Hundreds and hundreds.
Oh wow, the list is okay.
Yeah,
this is outrageous. So with the Healy, just to give some context, we're using the Blue app here, which is the Analyze, which is only with the resonance model. If you don't have the resonance, you wouldn't be able to do the Healy's equivalent of this. And that picks up some of what I guess DJ is walking us through. And this is focusing now on whatever's out of balance that the quantum sensor is picking up. It's communicating with the database, and then in real time communicating to us, okay, this is out of balance, this is out of balance, this is out of balance. And then it's sending certain, because if you go to the vibrate section, this is kind of like the vibrate of the analysis app. Okay. And so
that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And so most people don't feel it. Do you find that some people feel this? I found a couple of people, they're like really sensitive sometimes. They're like, oh my gosh, it's coming through my brain, it's coming to my heart. I'm like, wow. But 99% of people don't feel it personally. But What have you noticed?
It's true, but it also depends on what have you been, how you've been using. I cannot imagine, for instance, if I would send you these frequencies, all of these, in 3 days, 3 times a day, I cannot imagine that you cannot feel it, because it's in general information that the body has to deal with. But on the other hand, you have different types of, sorry.
No, that's really interesting. I mean, like, I don't feel it physically. I feel a benefit from it. I feel more light in my body and more grounded, but I guess I'm not feeling like it's, the microcurrent, if I put it up really high, I'm feeling that buzz, buzz, buzz in my hands. It's a different, subtle feeling, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
That is really interesting. And so with that as well, the vibrate, especially with the Healy, you've got the different hertz, different timings. You might be 37 seconds or 2 minutes and 49 seconds, different hertz. So that's what you're saying before in terms of what energies, everything, frequency is everywhere, whether it's the microcurrent or the hertz through the vibration or the resonance app, it's the same thing.
Everything is information, right? If you use the word information and you look at this database here with all the boxes I can tick, this is all in my database on an information level, not in microcurrent. So if the question would be, could you put all of these frequencies into my Healy program? The answer is no.
Okay.
Because it's not microcurrent. So there's much more information that is available in this database than that it can be delivered in microcurrent. Yeah.
I see. Got it.
Okay, so this is the blue app in my Timewaver frequency. If I go to my pink app, it is called here Indications, and this is where I can show you how my database works. Name any disease. So let's say cystitis, which is bladder infection, or cholecystitis. It shows all the databases, all the frequencies that are possibly out there. Even if I type in a mineral, like for instance magnesium, it has frequencies for magnesium. Testosterone, right? And these things I can put in the programs, and that's of course what I do.
So you've created a couple of really cool frequencies for myself that I've been using. Last time we spoke about it was a full detox program from candida, heavy metals, parasites, fungus, chemtrails, pesticides, radiation. I think there was mold in there as well. Yeah, mold.
Yeah, fungus, mold.
Yeah. So you've grouped those together and then named them a specific program, and then that's through the therapist TAN. I've connected it to my phone through to my Healy, and then I'm running those programs that have been in the database to support the body's ability to get back into balance if it has those kind of disturbances. Is that right?
Yeah. It's like it finds the resonant frequencies with the parasites, and so yeah, I created a detox protocol. I created the masculine and feminine awakening for more the sensual and the sexual energies, and the womb healing and the testosterone building for men. That's definitely my favorite program. Recently I created the field enhancing, which people would also call like ascension programs. That's what some people called it.
Wow, cool.
That's what I gave you, right? Abundance creation. You can see this on my website, by the way.
What's in that one? Tell us about that one. We've noticed, sitting, because I went to this on Valentine's Day. My partner and I went to a sound healing. It was beautiful, our experience. And the lady was saying that the healing is intention plus frequency. Intention plus frequency. I was like, that's really interesting. So setting the intention with the Healy is definitely important. But also, as we've gone to use these abundance creation program, it's allowing us to remind ourselves, let's focus on abundance. Let's focus on gratitude. Let's focus on appreciation of these things in our lives. And I think that is also a massive component to it. It's reminding us to focus and get more specific with our intention. And if we can do that on more of a consistent basis throughout the day, that's where our primary thoughts are going to be, our primary question, our focus, and that's where our direction of our life is going to be. So I think, the frequencies
so
plus
here
the intention
I have,
is so powerful.
Yeah.
What
No,
have you got
actually,
here?
we should not forget the intention. Without an intention or a health set goal you have for yourself, yeah, it's not going to work. Healy is not going to work for you. And I'm so sorry, but that's what it is. Okay, so here I have another database. It's called Frequency Level, with at least 200,000 frequencies in it, which are not accessible to Healy, but I can make accessible to any Healy user. So this is what I put in my programs, especially the field enhancing. And so here we have, right, you can just see the names. Here I also have the right frequencies, the healing frequencies. There are a lot.
Can you put the
Solfeggios.
rife? Could you put the rife frequencies on the Healy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, of course. That's I always add a rife. I put everything of any database I have on a specific topic. And that's, I think, where the magic comes from.
And so also this other one that you loaded on here, the astral training. I was like, DJ, I want to do astral projection and be more productive in my dreams consciously.
I will show you.
Amazing. Like the vividness of my dreams is more, every time I do that night, I'm definitely dreaming, and I'm in the dream, and it's coming, I hadn't dreamt for so long. And my other question is, are there programs to help with like the pineal gland?
Yeah, so many. I have a pineal gland program, and I put everything in it also to decalcify, like to fight calcifications in the body.
That's amazing.
But you can see here, like here they have a frequency 273 hertz, transpersonal chakra. Here is a increased reaction time, 3 hertz. There's so many, like, and they're all over the place. This is the brain wave frequencies extended list, and this is a mix of, I don't know who put it together, but this is where I found the mental and astral projection frequencies. And to amplify such effect with those frequencies, I also added here, for instance, the King's Chamber. What do they mean with that? It's so interesting. Here, acts towards preservation and equilibrium. So they're talking about energies here, the frequency associated with the orbit of Venus. This is in the abundance creation. I put in the 6 planets, the 6 planets of prosperity, which is Venus, Uranus, Mars, Saturn, Pluto, other 2. And that's just part of my research. So when I read all these things, I have to do research, and I cannot stop thinking about before I found it out.
Gosh, this is fascinating. So
it goes on.
So these are the combinations. So then you would just click on a couple of those, that then you add them into another program. You call them something?
I found it. Here, mental and astral projection. There are 4 more of these, but here you can just see that it says there. I don't know who made this frequency. I don't know who put it there, but it also describes more functions. I just put it there, and let's train ourselves, because that's why I called it field enhancing and astral training. It's just you training your mind, your body, your fields to expand into the astral plane. That's what it says here. Just,
what would be amazing is if I click, because these new programs here, or even if I clicked on the liver program or the energy program, it gave a few little words like this. If I clicked on astral traveling, yes, it's an 86-minute program here. I've got it connected to the wrist straps. It's a generic little thing, but if it said, hey, this is going to help you tap into reduce anger and things like that, I think that's really exciting. Maybe we can get some of these explanations added into the Healy description.
Oh, that's these. Well, the reason also why they do not put too much Healy descriptions is, of course, to avoid claiming.
No claims,
but also,
of course.
if you look at the gold frequencies of Nunonina, right? This is, I think, the biggest database in the world. You see, it is generalized upon ailment, upon the disease of pathology. So if you, for instance, grab backache, it has 284 pre-selected frequencies by Nunonina, put in this database that have to do with backache. So if I select this for a Healy program, it means that your Healy will grab this database and just select 3 top most resonant frequencies and send it to you by saturating it. So you will not get 284 frequencies in your Healy treatment. Probably not. No. Yeah, this is getting technical, but it's that's why I would grab this backache thing like 5 times, or no, 3 times. So you at least have 9 frequencies of this database being saturated into you. But this is the success of Healy, my man. This
Hang
is
on
the
a minute.
success.
I think you just blew my mind for a second. So say I'm using back pain on the Healy app, or if I'm using, say, balance or something like that. I heard that there's 400 frequencies per program, but it's not cycling through those 400 for the whole hour. It's maybe only choosing a couple of them. Or you don't know.
I cannot really give you answers on Healy programs.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
For
But
Timewaver
I
is
can
different.
only guess. I can only guess how they program it. But I have been experimenting with programming things, and I've really tried many things out there. I believe the most effect and is if you allow the quantum sensor to choose sufficient frequencies from a database like this.
Yeah. So using the resonance, getting that analysis scan going, is always going to be the best approach. What if you intuitively go, hang on a minute, no, actually, I want to run this program today. I'm feeling, the whole idea is for the body to remind itself and to be in tune enough, that it can choose its own program as well.
So with the Healy makes it very easy for us, and I'm so happy with the Healy as a Timewaver practitioner. I'm not sure how many Timewaver practitioners are also really Healy orientated.
Right.
It's really a big difference. Healy gives you the suggestions, the things you need to hear, with not too much information. Actually, here you have to pre-select everything. That gives you the ability to dive very deep. But if you just want to know, I just want to know what comes up top from all the things out there. No, if it starts to analyze everything out there, you'll be further like a half a day, like 12 hours. Literally takes 4 hours to analyze this whole database on my field.
Of course.
I tried it.
Show us some other cool stuff. What else have we got there? This is fascinating.
So one very exciting thing, Zach. I did it.
This is really cool. Yeah. Okay. What did you do?
What did I do? Okay, so this is the spinal treatment module, a module within Timewaver technology, which I'm absolutely, as an osteopath, fascinated about. Imagine that you have 33 vertebrae in your body, and you can apply microcurrent therapy with the adhesive electrodes on the spine. You can therefore target specific organs and regions, because as you see here, I'm now on C2, and it says on C2, it's related to the eyes, visual nerve, acoustic nerve, paranasal, sinuses, etc. Possible symptoms, blah, 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 etc. Okay, what if you could use Healy too for spinal treatment?
This last time when you shared this with me, I was like, oh my gosh, this is nuts. The sticky pads on either side of the spine relating to certain body parts blew my mind. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's like
So
your own acupuncture, safe acupuncture at home.
So I'm going to share my screen, new share. So for instance, here you see the spine, you see with every vertebrae, you see what it relates to. It says the same on what you just seen. Now this. Okay, if you have the vertebral column and you see yourself there, and you have all these veins running there, you have all these nerves running there,
right.
You have the lymph running there. We know one thing as osteopaths: if you can improve these 4 things, the nerves, the arteries, the veins, the lymph, the navel, that is where you improve the whole holistic part of the body. So what did I do? Because I had to take some time to study this spinal model of the Timewaver. I was wondering if I could create a program for it, for the Healy, but I did. because I know how it works. So I created a spinal treatment program that I'm gonna, I hopefully just put on my website tomorrow, because now it's done. It's just, if you want to have a healthy spine, you can work on any part of the spine. You can work intuitively. You can choose a vertebrae. You can, work targeted and just experience, bring these frequencies from this program into the tissue, right? Because it's all underneath and next to the vertebra, just right where you put them, and that is where I think the magic happens. I use it every day, so I speak from experience, and I'm absolutely exhilarated about it.
So you're saying you've got a specific program with those 4 different frequencies to help those different the arteries and things like that, and that you put on your spine every day.
I just created a safe program with individualized frequencies. This program is only going to be individualized because it's real-time phase. That's something technical, which you can just play with. It's safe. It's 20 minutes. You could choose 3 spots where you want to apply it, so you have 3 times 20 minutes, and you can just experience it. But I can guarantee you, if this works the way it should work, it is the most holistic treatment of Healy within a region. Imagine if you put it on your lumbar spine, close to your tailbone, let's say, your whole pelvic floor with whatever happens there, all the structures. It can be massaged into
restructured.
Yeah.
I hope this is landing for people. DJ, this will be something I'll be sending you my tan immediately after this call.
Yeah, I'm going to send you. Yeah, immediately.
I'll buy this one for sure. So that's really, really incredible. Okay. So this is what excites you within Timewaver and Healy, is that you're actually, with your background as well, able to specialize and in your niche, create certain personalized programs for people. So does someone have to book in a session? They send you their photo and things like that, or it's more of a, because you said it's personalized, tailored?
So as I said, it's every Healy program is individualized. It is personalized. Okay. But upon your request, if you request something, I can select something from my database more specifically. But everything is in general going to be personalized. Why you come to me to have it extra personalized, so to say, is where you apply for a scan. And because based on analysis, I can of course elaborate on what I see and work on it more specifically. But for most things, it is not. That's why I say when you have an ailment, when you have an issue, I preferably give you one therapist program with the frequencies in the database selected for that from by Nina, show you how that worked. And then I advise you on all the Healy programs you use around it, complementary. Right, to use your Healy more effectively.
Yeah, both together. That's really interesting. And I think I'll just insert the disclaimer here, guys. And just so you know, in Australia, this is a holistic wellness device. In America, it's FDA cleared. In Europe, it's a class 2 medical device as well. So, this is only helping the body get back into bioenergetic balance, and it's our body that does the healing, not the Healy. Our body does the healing when our body's back into the balance that the Healy can help with. So. May help with. But for those of you who are new and you're new to the testimonials, the frequency experience on Facebook, for over 50,000 people in there, do a search for some health challenges or health goals you're going through. Check out that group, the frequency experience, and you can see some amazing testimonials. And if you have a testimonial from some of these new programs, please share it with DJ, share it with myself. These testimonials are really my favorite. This is why we're doing this, right? It's because this works. And it's amazing how it's shifting people. Do you think if there was a percentage of I heard the other day that the Healy gives people a 40% head start in their healing process. Or the Healy gives a 40% boost towards, but then it's also, 50-60% of our own habits, our own healthy, lifestyle, our thoughts, our own additions to that too. Do you think that's a generalization? Do you think that's a close to specific?
That it boosts us?
Yeah, like in terms of the process to get our body back into balance. And so like, it's giving the body a head start in that, because it has the microcurrent there as well. And just a quick recap, the Timewaver is not approved by the diagnostic or treatment of COVID-19. This is not going to help COVID at all. Timewaver is a medical device for the treatment of chronic pain, fibromyalgia, skeletal pain, and migraine, as well as for the supportive treatment of mental illness, such as depression, anxiety, related sleep disorders. All other users of the Timewaver and Healy are not recognized by mainstream medicine due to the lack of evidence as determined by mainstream medicine. Timewaver supports and encourages the implementation of the prevention measures for COVID-19 published by the World Health Organization. If you, your family, or clients experience any of the COVID symptoms described by the World Health Organization, we recommend that you seek medical diagnostic and treatment. Cool.
Yeah, good man. Thank you for doing that. We need to do this, guys. This is very important that we keep ourselves in the safe zone. And I'm trying to be very aware of what I say also.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want me to read this last one? Science and orthodox medicine do not accept the existence.
You already did.
I did? Okay, yeah. Cool. No worries. Done. Disclaimer. Compliance is really important. Our body is the miracle. This is really cool. So you're saying I can, with this new program, put this on my spine. I went and I did a lot of CrossFit once, and I had an injury of my back. And I found out with the MRI that I have what's called spina bifida occulta, which is like part of the vertebrae didn't grow completely, which is like a common thing, but nothing too bad. Just means that I'm more prone potentially to back pain. But obviously I've been supporting that. And so would this potentially help with, some of my spinal, like realigning my spine potentially?
Of course, I created a safe experiment. The funny thing is, and that's why it's an experiment, there's a spinal treatment module in the Timewaver, but hardly anyone is using it. I had to find it out.
What is that, sorry? What is it?
Hardly any Timewaver practitioner is using the spinal module. Well, I think it's groundbreaking. Now, I know why they created it. Absolutely. But why is hardly anyone using it? But it can be done with Healy also. So that's why, safe.
Wow. Okay. What else do we want to cover, DJ? Let me see if there's any questions in the group that we should cover. But a lot of people are getting tagged here. A lot of people are loving this. Where can we get that chart that explains the spine and the relationship between the vertebrae and the organs, etc., please?
Oh, should I get it?
Yeah, could you send that to me and I could post that into the group?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. I'll put it in the chat, but you want me to put it on screen share now? No.
That'd be good. Maybe at home if you're watching this, screenshot it. But we can love to get that in the group for people. These are great resources. But even right now, so if someone has the Healy, they don't want to get an extra program, but they have like the back pain or the joints and things like that. Putting those programs on the back, would they also help?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why to try it out. All the nerves branch out from there to any part of the body. So why not go to the source?
Yep. Amazing. Now, just a reminder, if everyone drink more water, at least 2 liters a day. I'm drinking, lots more water here in Brisbane. It's quite hot. Any other tips on how they can maximize the results with the Healy? I've heard that the people should go get grounded, at least standing on some grass, 20 minutes a day, half an hour a day. That's a healthy habit anyway. But does that help the microcurrent therapy as well?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, there are a lot of other optimizations you could do to and I call it optimizations because, and there's some things I can give from my view, of course. I noticed that 75% of the clients who have really had clear success with my programs or Healy with in a short amount of time, it was thanks to an anti-inflammatory diet. So anti-inflammatory means, you could say, paleo diet without bread. Of course, not too much meat, but it's not about being vegan. It's not about such diet. You also have different bodies. But anti-inflammatory basically means watch out with the grains. processed stuff, of course. Just a varied and healthy rhythm and diet, and of course that's the support you can give you. I have a personal experience, because here in Amsterdam we live quite high, and in more places the higher you live, the less the microcurrent can ground you. So you use that ground, stand on the ground to to give it body.
Yeah, of course. We, for those who don't know, we interviewed Dr. Jack Cruz yesterday. It's in this quantum community group.
Programs or Healy.
This is just loading here.
Oh.
And Dr. Jack Cruz was talking about the benefits of light therapy, vitamin D. This is another book here. The vitamin D is the miracle vitamin. So this is Ian Wishart. That's one book that is all about vitamin D. Another book that Dr. Jack Cruz and these mitochondrial experts recommend is The 4 Phases of Water as well. This is by Gerald Pollack, H. Pollack. So I'm really wanting to...
Very good.
Is it? Have you read it?
I've dived into his work. I've not read it yet, but I started in it. And also the Body Electric.
Jerry Tennant, the Healing is Voltage. These are amazing humans that are, research. Dr. Jack Cruz's work, jackcruz.com. These people are literally, scientists of frequency, and they're modern day, geniuses in their own right. And so group, it's our own knowledge to discover, take time. What I learned from the interview yesterday is that no one's spending time to do some research on these important topics, and myself included. It's so easy to get distracted, and yes, you're listening to music and enjoying the day is important, and also finding these on audiobooks, or spending before you pick up your phone, I'm going to read a couple of pages of a book before, in the morning and at night. And I really want to start getting into some of these books, because this knowledge is life-changing. So it's exciting to know that the answers are between these, hopefully in these interviews, but also the deeper interviews are also deeper knowledge dives into the books as well. So this is amazing. So I think, for anyone brand new, if you still have questions, do some research, check out the Timewaver website, check out the Healy website. Hopefully that'll be getting an upgrade in the next couple of months. Reach out to some of these groups. There's so many amazing resources in the units section. The units are now called guides in Facebook, or in other people who are experts within the Healy community, other doctors coming on board to kind of share how Healy works. It's about doing some digging. And so I'll also put the getting started training that we have for our team in the chat here as well, and somewhere around the video, so you guys can do your own self-learning. But I really think for me, what's helped my confidence sharing Healy is interviewing people like yourself, DJ, and going, oh my gosh, like this is not just another supplement or a cream or a, some kind of water filter. There's so much history behind frequency therapy that this is why we call Healy a unicorn product, because it's so unique and it's got so much depth, and it will hit $1 billion mark, which is a unicorn startup, is a concept to hit $1 billion in revenue. Wow. So that'll be down the track for Healy, but we are all a part of this. And with what you're sharing here, helping the spine, helping the organs, helping our brain, helping dreaming, helping, anxiety, all these crazy terms that we have today that people are struggling with. It's so cool to know that in the palm of our hands, whoops, I dropped that on the microphone. In the palm of our hands, we have this device that I don't believe is really from this planet. It's kind of just an absolute gift, and it's here in our hands, in our back pockets. And every time I listen to interviews like this with you, especially DJ and other interviews, I'm like, I need to use my Healy more. Why am I not using it as much? And I've been using it more and more, don't get me wrong, like literally all day I'll be running programs. So I'm like, how can I use it more? Maybe when I sleep, people have been using the vibrate setting while they sleep. So I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Do you recommend that actually?
Yeah, it's I would say max 3 programs a day. Some people, too many people are definitely crossing that, and I should have said it in the beginning, darn it. But it's 3 programs a day, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it's electricity. For you, Zach, we're young, and it's your own risk, it's your own application. But keep in mind, it's
If I start
electricity.
flying, it's probably because of all the Healy programs. If I start levitating.
Yeah, it's all an experiment, but eventually you cannot run too much vibrating information.
Mm.
There is no data on that, and that is the biggest experiment about Healy, is that we are not only just working with microcurrent, because you could do that 100 years ago, 1910. You could buy a big device in your home, but now it's information fueled, and that science is so young, so new. So we're all part of it,
And
part of it.
that's really interesting, because what I love about having with the Healy, the fast start. So when you share 3 Healys in the first month, you get upgraded with an upgrade, or you get another free device.
Yeah.
So what I do is I've got like a bunch of devices now, but I have my Healy microcurrent on, and I'm running that 3 times a day now, of course, keeping it compliant. But then also with the other Healy, I have another phone, and I'm also because you can close the app with the microcurrent and open the scanning vibrate app, the analyze, and doing that at the same time. Have you tried?
Yeah,
Do you
why
do
not?
that?
It's
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, and you have to feel, and this is where feeling and sensing come in. You have to become better in knowing when your body has enough, what your body needs,
Mm.
and if it still resonates with everything, that it doesn't counteract with any other treatment.
Yep.
And that's the training. So the people who do not feel the resonance instantly, I think it's just a matter of time, or there will be moments that you will like, oh yeah, you picked up on it.
Oh, that's nice. So maybe as you start using it more and more, we're going to become more
Yeah,
in tune with the subtle
absolutely.
frequencies, and
Yeah.
actually notice, wow, similar effect maybe from the microcurrent as the vibrate. I just want to also state that, yeah, if someone is pregnant, has a pacemaker, who's epileptic, they can't use the Healy microcurrent, but they can use the analyze, the information field, from my understanding as well. Obviously, do your own research, read the booklets and stuff like that. How exciting. Do we want to, anything else we should share with everyone else? Anyone? If you guys have any other questions, please let us know. We're happy to do another interview in a few weeks or a month. But I think this is great. I'm going to get this new program for sure. And what else is coming for Healy? Like, what's the future look like?
Yeah, so I already mentioned to you, they're coming. There is a rumor that I'm really wondering if I should tell this. Am I?
Oh,
Let's say that you would have access to more therapist programs. It's coming. So no worries about your limited spots of 12. It's also with me, I want to create this idea for people, is that they can have a personal locker within my frequency data bank, right? My company is called the School of Frequency. So I'm here to help people have access to so many different frequencies, and then to learn from it. And so what if you have a full list of 12, and you have a personal locker with frequencies in my data bank, you can purchase more programs, but prioritize 12 and just lock a few away in that locker, and then ask them back later for free. So for instance, you, Zach, you've got my detox protocol I gave you a while ago. Okay, you've done the detox, maybe next year again. So you come back next year, you get them back from me. But in the meantime, you want to shuffle around. And that's what I like to stimulate people. Let's play around. Let's make it a kindergarten also of possibilities, and really learn from these nutrients. Yeah, you're on mute.
Whoops. I just shared the meaning of life. No, what is the new Coherence program with Healy? I saw the new video. It's so exciting. The Coherence program, from my understanding, it's the harmony kind of frequency within nature, which I think is so important. So many people are disconnected from nature now. But do you know much about the Coherence program? Can you show us here more detail?
Yeah. I'm going to show
Oh,
you.
cool. Ooh.
Okay, first of all, I'm not sure if I have it in my database, but I guessed what is in it. If they talk about a certain coherence, they have to mix some frequencies to induce such effect. And for instance, I have a lot of here earth resonance, not just Schumann frequency, which is 7.8 hertz around. You have different Schumann frequencies also, but you also have other frequencies connected to the spin of the earth, to the magnetic field, to the electric field, to the flow of, yeah, I found many different things. And oh yeah, that one here, the crystal resonator, that was a very interesting one, is where basically the crystal frequency, and if you look at the fascial network of the body with all the fascia and the tissue,
Mm.
the silicate structure, so the body does recognize crystal frequencies. This, of course, I put in one of the field enhancing programs, but yeah.
That's from my understanding, is that, yeah, like our body is a, we are, obviously we're electromagnetic. We have electricity, magnetism. You know, we can crystallize and calcify and turn into rock, or we can kind of become more fluid through, you know, nature and healthy food and getting in touch with sunlight. We become more, there's more coherence, more electricity going through our body. And that's why this whole concept is interwoven in this, you know, this book, you know, more understanding about water or sunlight or grounding or electricity and breath work and, you know, trauma release. These are all intertwined with helping the electrical voltage of our body. And so I love this. This is fascinating. So you've got crystal programs and you've got,
Okay.
so do we know what's in the coherence program?
So that's just guessing, right? We can only
Got
guess,
it.
but they gave us some hints. I see, I forgot the word. I forgot a word that I used. I'm so sorry. I didn't watch the video. I have to watch it.
It's like
But
harmony, you know, things like
yeah,
harmony and nature. Um, yeah, the video is
yeah,
really cool. If you guys haven't seen it, if you just type in Coherence Program,
yeah,
Healy, I think it's getting released on everyone's Healy. Has it been released yet? Let me have a look.
yeah, should be. Yeah, but as I said, I can only guess here. I have some other brainwave frequencies. Definitely, they would use a lot of brainwave frequencies. Here you have another astral projections, 63 hertz. Very interesting.
Mm.
Um, Here also the feeling of enlightenment and euphoria. Well, 1925. So you see, it's above 1000 hertz. So above 1000 hertz, we could speculate on the fact that there are more emotional frequencies that come, more mental, more of a
Mm.
subtle nature. And also, the higher you go into frequency, the smaller the particle can get. For instance, if you have, and this is another journey of mine, neurotransmitters. Some very interesting neurotransmitters are, for instance, serotonin, dopamine, GABA, and acetylcholine. Sorry, that's the Dutch pronunciation. Where GABA comes in very important. But imagine you have a neurotransmitter and you have a receptor. And I found frequencies for both of them. And for a few of them, I had to make them. But these neurotransmitters could be so profound for some people in certain situations. For instance, if you're moody or you're very down and you're a bit depressed, serotonin will bring up your energy level and
Yes.
the digestive health, even feeling saturated. And GABA, it slows you down. It really like puts on the brake and takes you back into like your nervous system and your hormonal system. So
Mm.
I need a frequency for the GABA itself and for the receptor. And you always see that this one for GABA itself, it's low, it's like 61 hertz, and the other one is like 304 hertz.
So yeah, I've heard that. So some frequencies we don't even feel to begin with, like 1 to 100. You do usually feel certain frequencies that are less than 100. I found.
So sense 300. Some people sense the
Right.
higher ones, which I do, but um, I mean, if you take it really low, you're also hardly able to feel it. It's a
Okay.
really, but at least you can see that every frequency has a function. Yeah, it does something.
It's so
Tantra
interesting.
yoga,
And for those who don't know, the Coherence Program's released. This is, you know, similar to last year when Healy released the bioenergetic support. or the bioenergetic boost for everyone for free. They're releasing a program for free called Coherence. And so depending on, I guess, the updates with our phone and how technology transfers through, some people are going to get it straight away. Some take a few, like in the next week or so, should have this uploaded. If you go into settings in your Red app and go check for updates, you should find it. If it's not there, it will come soon. So don't stress, don't put a ticket in. It will be there soon. This has been really fun, really, really interesting. I could pretty much look through all this all day. This is so cool. So I think, anyone out there, do some more research, go out there, figure out those questions that you have about Healy, go do some digging, share them in the group, share them with other people. This is a growing field of knowledge, and it's, this might take a lifetime to understand, but what I do know is that if we use the Healy, use it every day, we're going to experience great results. And, coupling this in with other healthy habits, this is by far the biggest head start. We all want a head start in life. Sometimes, like your story, some people are given a very unfortunate, which is very common. I've heard a bunch of people that I know has had things like that happen to you, DJ. It's super unfortunate and super sad, but it's about, keep learning, keep transforming. And these things happen for a reason to obviously, this is our story, and you're out here, and I love your passion. I love your charisma. I love what you're bringing to this. So if anyone's out there, I'll put DJ's Facebook in this group, in this chat, in this video somewhere, and you can reach out. So there is a promotion with this new program you're mentioning. There's like a bit of a discount for yourself.
Any program, anything you buy with me. If you watch this webinar, you email me, you tell me that you were there. 20% off of the total purchase until the end of this month, or maybe I'll extend it a bit because never know. But
And awesome. And if you're listening to this video is in this group, so you're gonna have to add people into this group and tag them in the post if you want them to see it. I will release this on YouTube, but not right now. So if you want people to watch it right now, I'll release this probably next week on the YouTube. Any final comments, DJ?
Keep it going, guys. Let's keep the School of Frequency going. Yeah, and I'm happy to be all part of this.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you guys next week on next week's podcast in this group, the Quantum Community. Thanks again, DJ. See you, everyone.
Thanks, man. See ya.